Check this out. This is Popstar Guitar. Popstar Guitar was released back in 2008 by Broadsword Interactive. They mostly made DDR clones, some better than others. Dance Factory was really cool. It automatically made charts for songs when you hot swapped the game with a music CD, but we're not here for that. We're here for this. Look at that, completely sealed. Can you believe nobody wanted this? With this game you can get a quick blast shop for the latest fashions and raddest instruments and play over 50 licensed songs from bands you've actually heard of. More on that soon though. Inside the box, we've got a copy of the game as well as not one, but two Air G guitar controllers. We'll talk about these in a minute. The game itself is surprisingly well done. Somewhat annoyingly, you need to play every song in the game to unlock every song in the game. There's no quick play to instantly play all the songs on the disc. There is a full campaign mode where you can create a band, name, and customize all your members, and then head out on the road to start playing shows to get money to play bigger shows. The shows are just a couple songs each, and the songs are either original recordings or cover songs done by the developers that vary from really good to hilariously awful. Gameplay-wise, it does most things right. There's 3 difficulty levels with super lazy and amateur charting that feels like they're all done by different people with varying charting skill sets. As long as you don't get upset when a power chord is matched to a single note and can ignore sometimes strumming to the beat of the music rather than what the guitar is actually doing, you'll be okay here. You're able to hold the lower notes while you play higher notes, just like in other guitar games and real guitar. Always nice when Guitar Hero clones think of this, though it's a bit weird here because you can also hold higher notes while you're holding lower notes. It's better than nothing, but speaking of nothing, there's no hammer-ons or pull-offs, which might not seem like an issue for most of the songs in the first half of the tour, but the later songs could have really benefited from this, since strumming fast with this obnoxious nunchuck controller is an acquired taste. Your body position while playing should probably be thought about before you actually play this, but if you don't think about it, you'll learn pretty quick once you start feeling agonizing pain. Standing up and holding the controller like a guitar will absolutely destroy your left wrist, and you'll eventually need to find a new position if you don't want your left hand amputated. This thing is not ergonomic. Sitting or laying down actually solves most of the wrist pain entirely, because you can rest the weight of the controller on your body right where the nunchuck attaches. Once you get comfy, the game becomes much more playable. If you're playing this at home and you don't have your Air G guitars kicking around, you can still play, and this is actually a really fun challenge, and I really do recommend you go download this and give it a try if you want something new to torture yourself with. You hit the D-pad for green, the A button for red, the minus button for yellow, and the 1 button for blue. The odd travel distance and really tiny buttons that vary in shape, size, and position really make it hard to get used to jumping your hand around the controller, and since there's no guitar neck holding the controller stationary, you need to do some bizarre things with your thumb to push the controller up and down while you play. Honestly though, I played most of the game like this just because of how fun of a challenge it was, and because the guitar controller somehow hurts to play even more than this. You don't need the guitar controller for most of the game, but as the songs start getting harder near the end game, it becomes way more necessary. Like we briefly mentioned earlier, the nunchuck is used for strumming, but it's also used for whammying and the game's kind of creative star power alternative. You strum up and down with the analog stick, not the gyro in the controller. This kind of works most of the time, and I'm happy they went this route over making you shake the thing. But okay, this is what you're here for. Let's grab an Air G. The Air G is a piece of plastic that slides along the little grooves on the side of the Wii controller that I didn't even know existed, and it aligns with the buttons. Different buttons than the default controls. You gotta tell the game you're using the Air G in the options menu, and honestly, once you do that, it works. It's not perfect, but it works. The A button sticks a lot, because the guitar attachment often slides down the shaft of the controller mid-game. When that happens, you just gotta apply pressure upwards to any of the buttons and it snaps back into place and lets go of green. It happens so often that it feels like they added a possessed green fret feature to the game. It's actually pretty hard to do, but after a couple hours it's negligible because your fingers will start to feel like you injected them with steroids. Seriously, this game is a finger workout. The buttons require an absurd amount of pressure to activate, and lack of any support in your palms makes it wobble around from how hard you have to push the buttons. It feels like you're pushing down hard on a thick piece of rubber, probably because that's exactly what you're doing. If you don't like the clicky buttons of the Rock Band guitars, maybe this is more up your alley. But still, once you manage to get your body in a comfortable position, your hand bent in a way that doesn't hurt you, and you get used to pushing down hard with the tips of your fingers rather than the flat part of your fingers, you're good to start learning the mechanics of the game, which are a bit different than in Guitar Hero. One major difference is scoring and star power. There are these super notes that look like this. If you hit them all in a row, you get an instant score boost. This isn't the star power system though. The star power system is this thing based around a bomb. You streak notes to fill a bomb meter. If you make a mistake, it drops a bit, but it doesn't reset to 0 like in Guitar Hero. Once it's full, you have a 5-second bomb timer that you need to react to with the C button, right index finger on the nunchuck. If you activate it in time, you get pyro effects and a score doubler. If you miss it, the bomb goes off, the meter resets, and you get nothing. As far as scores go, each note is worth 1 point, and a perfect note is worth 2. It's got a standard score multiplier that works the same way as always. You can see in the hit zone down here that they conveniently place these red zones to help guide you in case you're strumming early or late, which is really useful because you need some pro-level calibration leg compensation skills to play any of this. That's because there's no calibration. Yeah, unless you got a CRT kicking around, then be prepared for some obnoxious video and audio lag. Hell, even if there was calibration though, the game still consistently glitches out and goes out of time for long sections of the song at once. If verse 1 gets glitched, just wait until the chorus comes and it snaps back into time. I'd imagine that's because the song sections are loaded separately. We can actually confirm this by going into the rehearsal mode from the band vehicle, which lets you pick each individual section of each song to practice on. It's a practice mode. Super cool to see that here. The vehicle, by the way, is just the main menu, and it's weirdly confusing how it's set up. The positions of all the icons annoyingly change when your band gets bigger and you get new vehicles, but the icons basically, they just let you play shows, quick play unlocked songs, and customize your band with new gear, which affects how much money you get from playing shows, and thus affects how quickly you unlock songs in the campaign mode. I didn't care too much about any of this because I wanted to play every song in the game anyway, but the customization options are decent and you can get away with making whatever you want, well, mostly, by the end game. Overall though, it's a surprisingly well done game based around the dumbest controller idea I've ever seen in my life. It's at the very least an interesting concept, but I have absolutely no idea why this made it to shelves. So, I liked it, basically. Also, hey, I'm currently playing through an English-patched Japanese story-based rhythm game about furries by the guys who made Nier Automata, and I have yet to find a single video or review of the game from anybody that actually learned how to play it. I might be the first person. Breaking news right here. If you're into that and you want to catch it next week, maybe hit me with a sub. That's about it for Popstar Guitar though. Thanks for watching guys, love ya, and peace.